Hi, I'm Darrick. I'm 20 years old and I'm currently in Indonesia, sadly because of COVID. But I am studying in London, specifically in Cass Business School. I'm a second year student in business management. What does tolerance mean to me? I think for me, tolerance is just the level of accepting, the level of understanding, the level of being open-minded, into different things. Maybe the level of understanding to being to understanding others' perspectives, the understanding of others' emotions and sensitivity. I think is a part of tolerance. I think that's what it is for me, and I think it's important for me because, I mean, not only just for me, but right now in this world is because I think everything is sensitive right now. Don't you agree? Everything in the world right now, the information that we have, there's just so many information that we can't, that's so dense that we can't tell the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And there's so many fine lines that's hard to read nowadays. And I think for us to be tolerable to this, to understand, to open our perspectives, to be open-minded tolerably, is a very good way to move forward. Especially as young generations, we have to be more tolerable and not have the conventional way of thinking. When I say I'm a tolerable person, I think to an extent, I would say I'm a tolerable person. I think I have two reasons to say. First, I think it's just, if you agree with me, it's just the way we are brought up as Asians or maybe Indonesians. In a household, I think I think my parents always brought me up to respect elders, to respect this, to respect that. But then that built up your values of tolerance, of tolerability to other people. To tolerability, to being open-minded, and yeah, I think that's one of the really strong values I have. Secondly, I think because I go to an international school, I think that really opened my eyes and opened my emotions to being more tolerable to my friends because it was a diverse group of friends. Everybody had different backgrounds, different understanding, different way of thinking, and not everybody understands things like you do. That way, you have to be tolerable to other people, and that really added up to my tolerability. How diverse is it? I think UK is a pretty diverse country as a whole. There's a couple of cities, but since I go to London, I think London is a world in itself. I think it's a very, very diverse city. Like you could find almost every race from Indonesians, Singaporeans, Malaysians, and China, Japan, Korea, Middle East, South America, Central Europe. It's just a very diverse city. Like you can find almost every race, every language, every food, everything. Did I experience culture shock? I think everybody experiences culture shock to an extent. I think when I first moved to the UK, there was that feeling of it felt different. Yeah, it was different. Um, I think the biggest difference for me, the biggest shock for me was perspective. In this Indonesian lifestyle, in this bubble, it all felt comfortable and felt the way people think, the way we think here in Indonesia is very slow and but we're very, But then as I moved to the UK, yes, I think the biggest thing that shocked me is the way people think there, how white people think, how Western people think. It's completely different, and it's a good thing. It opened my eyes, and yeah. And how did I deal with this? I guess you just learn, you live and you learn. As I was there, yeah, I just started to adapt because I think because I went to an international school, I think that gave me a foundation, a fundamental, at least to understand like how the Western world thinks and like how they are, because we're exposed to that. So it did give me a good foundation to transition easier to that environment. So UK has many cultures. Like I said, it's a very diverse country, a diverse city, right? There's Indians, Pakistanis, Middle East, and every single one. How tolerable I am, I think you have to be. I think you have to be. Like I said, it is something that I think is a very important value to have, especially when making new friends. For my own experience, like in university, 90% of the students are international students. So I have no choice but to make friends with all these people and to tolerate where they come from and accept them for who they are. But those things really resonate with me, and it brought me so many new perspectives, new backgrounds. Like I even learned some people's slangs. Like British slang, for example, Chinese. There's just so many things that you can learn from being tolerable to other people. And as I lived in the UK, as I continue to live and continue my studies, I think I really learned to accept and be open-minded about people's fundamental, their values, and you will be surprised the difference in values between countries. And yeah, I really learned a lot. Um, I don't think I've been like a victim to intolerance, especially to my ethnicity. Like generally, no, I have not. But I do agree that in the UK there is still some levels of prejudice that I could feel as an Asian. But lately, no, I have not felt that way. But what I could say is at the beginning of 2020, when COVID started, as we all know, it was from China. But as an Asian, you feel like you were generalized as a Chinese person, no matter what ethnicity you are. Like I'm Indonesian, but I was generalized as a Chinese. And I guess that comes to intolerable from other people indirectly. Yeah.